All right, boys and girls. What we're going to try to do, just get back from lunch. I got all the roof on. We're going to try to make a ridge cap out of some pretty wide pine boards. Glued, screwed, nailed, the whole 9 yards. Saved myself like over $100 in buying the crap green one. And I'm going to try to show you how to do it. I'm going to try to video this. Hopefully this goes well. But just to give you a preview of what we got here. So we have obviously circular saws. I got an edge guide on. We're going to do this down and dirty in the field. We got the nail gun. We've got some glue. I've got a screw gun. We've got some hand planes in case the miter doesn't come out perfect. We can hand plane it perfect, or try to anyway. We'll see how that goes. What we're trying to do is, if you look at an 8-pitch, let's try to block the sunshine. If you look at an 8-pitch, it's 33 degrees on the plumb, 33 and 0.6, blah, 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 on the plumb cut up there. What we're going to do is we're going to cut a test piece first and nail it together. And then we'll take it up and we'll try it. And hopefully the test piece is perfect. To see if I can take you along for the ride here while I'm working. What you're going to want to do is pick kind of your straightest part of these two boards. We're going to use that part to ride against the fence, and we're going to cut ourselves a 33, just going to probably make it 34. On my particular saw, my saw is 1 degree out of square, so I have to kind of go to 34. So that's 30, that's 35. So we're just going to cut it like 34 and a half on my saw, which would be like 33 and a half. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut. See which side's straighter here. Oh, the crappier side straighter. Oh, it's bowed. We're going to go ahead and cut ourselves this angle on this piece of wood. And I've got to find myself a place to do it. Probably going to come down here and make sure that you got a good view. I'm going to cut this on the test pieces first. And then I'll just nail them together. And we'll go up there and try it, make sure the angle's right. We want to do that before we go crazy on this. I don't want to cut into my good boards. We want to cut them both the same. So these are just going to be test pieces. That's one. I'm tripping over all kinds of shit in here. Let's do it this way. And this is just going to be a test piece to make sure that the angle's right. So now we have 33 on both sides. They meet up pretty perfectly. I'm going to shoot this thing together. Looks like the angle's right. I can almost tell now. I don't need to really go any further, but let's shoot this thing together and get you looking this way. We're going to shoot this together and then we'll go up and try it. Make sure that it's perfect. This we don't need to glue. We're just going to go ahead and nail it. Now, it wouldn't be a bad idea to make yourself a block to rest these on. I'm just going to go ahead and try and do it down and dirty. So now I have a pseudo ridge cap here. And we're going to go up and we're going to try it on the ridge. Make sure this is right before we cut our big long. These are going to be like 13-foot ridge caps. I'll go ahead and angle you up. I'll go up there and we'll check it out. My angle's right. We'll go to town. We'll cut them. We'll plane them. Hopefully they come out perfect without needing to be planed, but you can never tell. Then I'll feed this thing across. It's going to have 6 inches of overhang on both sides. I'm going to cut it 13 feet long. And it's absolutely perfect. Now this is smaller than the one that I'm going to put on. The one that I'm going to put on is going to be a little wider, but this is, the angle's perfect. Yep, the angle's perfect. It's exactly what we want. Now we're going to make a real one. We're going to feed it all the way across. We're going to screw it down in a couple of spots and proverbial Bob's your uncle. We will, on the real one that we make, we're going to screw it together. We'll shoot it together to hold it and glue it, and then we'll throw some screws in it and we'll let it dry right in place up here. So this works great. That's junk now. I may have to pause you guys when I go to put this thing in. Hopefully everything works out fine, but might have to pause you guys when I go to put this thing in because I might have to come up with a setup to do it. But we're going to go ahead and rip this thing down. And what I want to do is I want to pick a width first of all. So I'm going to look at my two pieces. This end's going to come off right here. My 13 feet is going to be about right here. There's a little bit of punky wood on this one, but that doesn't really matter. That can end up going down. There's a little bit on this. I want to pick a width that I feel comfortable with. So let's just say I want it overall 8 inches to the long point. That's probably safe. So we're going to set our saw up 8 inches to the long point. Rip both these boards. Just going to take this out so I don't, somehow my finger doesn't find the trigger while I'm doing it. I'm going to want to keep this thing nice and square, and we're going to get a tooth set right at the base here to measure from. The 8 inches doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it comes out 8 1/4 or whatever. All that matters is that we get it fairly close to what we want. That's going to give me 8 inches down from the peak, which is going to be about, just looking up there, about 6 inches of coverage on both sides. Maybe 5 inches of coverage on both sides. I'd like to cover the top row of screws. Well, it's going to cover the top row. I'd like to cover the top and the second down row of screws. I'll show you that in a second. I'm going to get this nice and tight. so it doesn't move. Keep my angle the same. Get my nail gun out of the way so I can deal with this. We'll toss our battery back in. And it doesn't really make a whole lot of difference right now if you start trying to figure out which side's going to have bad wood and stuff like that. What's more important to me is that I run my fence against the straighter of the two sides on both of these so that I end up fairly close. If you look up on my roof, you see those top, hopefully you can see them. I'll zoom in a little bit. Hold on. Oh. You see the top two rows of screws? I'm hoping that they'll cover both. It's going to be close, but we're going to rip this down. This is down and dirty in the field carpentry right here. I'm going to look, just see which side's straighter. So this side's pretty straight. This side's got a lot of fur on it. I'm going to flip it over and just double check. I would say that this outside right here is probably the straightest. I'm going to rip it at full depth. I mean at full length, and then cut them off after. So we'll do these one at a time here. Hopefully, I'm sorry about tripping over stuff but this is kind of the fat lady that we're dealing with here. So we're going to go ahead and rip this thing. Let me make sure that I want to double check my depth. Yeah, I'm too deep. This shouldn't change my dimension. I don't want to rip all the way down into that board. I'm going to double check my 8-inch dimension now, just to make it shouldn't. It just went up, so it should be fine. I'll go ahead and start and just confirm the width. Yeah, it's 8 inches to the top, so that's fine. We're going to go ahead and rip the whole thing. Make sure you keep getting yourself in a good position, holding the fence. Okay, that's one of them. And we'll swap places. Can I rip? I could probably rip. Yeah. I could probably rip this one over here. I think it'll be fine. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Just try and get myself in a good position to do it. Pick out the better side. Make sure there's nothing in my way. We just want to ride the fence against the better side. And like the other one, the clean side is the better side. So we're going to run our fence against this side here. This is seriously down and dirty in the field, boys and girls. So rip from this side, and then we'll stick them together. The only problem with doing it this way is that I got to do a kind of a stop cut here. Okay. Man, my body's hurting. All right, so we're done with this one for now. Put that away. And we're going to see how these match up. Hopefully they're close enough to do it just the way it is. If I can't get these lined up, then I will end up making some sort of jig to go underneath them. See if I can do it by hand here. All right. That's awesome. Still think I'm going to need a jig. This does not need to be plain, so you guys are not going to get to see cool hand planes. This matches up wonderfully. It came out beautiful. I am going to take a little bit of weight off them. I am going to cut off the ends. This came out great, guys. Yeah, this came out awesome. I could nail and screw this together right now. This came out great. I'm going to take a measurement and cut myself a couple of blocks to go underneath these. Sometimes this can work against you. Nah, never mind. What I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it, and then I'm going to hold it close like this, and I'll nail it as I go. I'll nail it in a few places, then screw it together because this came out great. What I could do, no, I can do this by hand. I can set this up by hand. There's no problem. All right, so I'm going to feed them both apart, kind of right where they are. And I'm going to cut them to 13 feet long. Trim off the bad stuff. I got to trim that one first because it's got a bad chunk on the end. And then we'll just glue one edge and we'll throw it together. We'll make this thing into a... See how much I can waste here so I don't make a mistake. So it's 14.3, so I can definitely cut this off. Yeah, let's just go 2 inches down there. Let's go 13.2. Of course we'll go again. No, I still got 3 bars, just overheating. Cut this one to 13 feet, cut that one to 13 feet. Tripping over everything. Cool ass pine ridge beam. 13 feet's right there. Now, I think the biggest battle here is going to be getting this thing up in place. Okay, let's cut the end off this one without tripping over all my shit. We'll cut this side to 13 feet. Then we'll get them lined up. And we'll glue one side. It's going to take about all the glue I have out here with me. Just cutting the checks off the end. All right, so I think we're ready to put this thing together. I got nails in the nail gun, that's good. We will screw this thing together too. 4-inch screws. I might grab a box. I'm going to pause you guys 1 second. I'm going to grab a box of shorter screws. All right, so we're going to go to town here, I think. I'm going to grab my nail gun. I'm going to put it on my hip so I can get it easily. We're going to run a bead of glue down this one. Hopefully we have enough glue. And keep my glue line towards the top. Okay, I'm gonna have to pause you guys. I gotta go get more glue. Let that drip off for a second. Pause you guys and be right back. All right, let's see if we can get this thing glued up. Get my empty thing of Titebond 3 out of the way here. And all Titebond glue is waterproof, so we'll run a bead right near the top. And try to run a bead down the bottom. No sense, this is not cabinet making. There's no sense in spreading this around and crap. We're just gonna lay it in on itself and shoot it together, screw it together, and then throw the thing in place. Okay. Okay, let's get this thing flipped up. I think we're still about the same distance apart, so hopefully, make sure I get my hands right here. Hopefully we can get this thing, I'm going to flush up the end. End's nice and flush. Get some glue off me. I'm going to get the nail gun on my hip. Get this end flushed up here. We're going to want to shoot it so it doesn't move. Any place that it's flush right now, we can go ahead and shoot it. Let's shoot the two ends. This looks great. All I'm doing with my hand is flushing it as I go down. Find places where there is not a nail, and we'll put it in right here. And get some good squeeze out. And we'll throw some screws in it. We should be good to go. That came out awesome. Get some of the squeeze out off the top. We'll suck it together with some screws, and what you want to do is if there's any discrepancy, so where it's perfectly flush, you can throw a screw in. If there's any discrepancy, you're going to want to go from the side that's higher. And find myself my bit. That one's too small. These are 3-inch screws, so these are going to really hold it together well. And then you're just going to have to be careful about how you put them in. Throw a bunch of my tool belt here. Get my stupid tape measure out of there. We're going to want to throw some screws in from both sides. So wherever I see I'm flush on this side, I'm going to throw one, and then I'll go around the other side and do the other side too. Let's get a nice squeeze out when I do it. So this side's higher on that side, so I'm going to want to go around to that side. It's nice and flush. The angle came out great. Good squeeze out when I put it in. putting them all right around the fasteners so that there's double fasteners going each way. Even on this side, I have two right here. I'm putting it right in between them. So you got hold from 3 different directions right in that one spot. All right, so we got our ridge cap all put together. It's glued, it's screwed. Might want to just put a few more screws in this side. I'll just use up what I have. Can't go wrong here. This is going to help when you try to hoist it up there because you don't want the thing to come apart. And that's all the screws I have in my tool belt, so we'll go with that. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to come up with a setup to be able to put this thing up on the roof. And I'm going to pause you guys 1 second while I do that. And then we're going to put this thing up there, slide it down, get it 6 inches off the end on both sides, and we'll see what it looks like. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and pause you. All right, so it's heavy. I'm going to try to get up on this middle ladder here and see if I can feed it up over my head and shove it down. I kind of got it resting here right now. Hopefully I'm man enough to do this. It's going to be a big man thing here. Don't fall off. Get it up on my head. Go up one more stair. Stay there, baby. Stay there while I go up one more stair. Gonna get a little more on the roof. Almost there. Almost there. I can rest it now. I can rest. Okay, so where's my? Oh, I drop my. What? Sorry. Should be 6 inches over this, so I gotta go 5 more inches. Come back to here. 6 inches there. And we'll go check the other side. Let's just see if we can check the other side without having to climb up there right now. It's exactly what I wanted. Exactly what I wanted. It didn't cover the next row down the screws, but this is a beautiful ridge cap off. Let me just try to check this side from the ground. What we're going to do is we're going to screw this thing down. What I need to screw it down, 54 screws. So these are not going to go all the way through. These are little ones that come with this kit. They're not going to go all the way through. So I am going to all right, I'm going to go up there and screw it down. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to stay back far enough so that anything that I do stays way up underneath that water will never get to it. I do have I might have to move this ladder around, but I do have a rafter right here. So looking in there, nice and lined up, beautiful. It came out great, nice and tight on the top. Get up a little higher. It's going to take a lot to hold it down. It's not the best. So we're going to go ahead and measure into that rafter. And then we're going to put one up in here on both sides, that distance. From the see right where that screw line is. I put that screw line in purpose. Put one here, both sides. Now let me get a measurement from the end. 12 and a half in there plus 6. 12 and a half, 6, 18 and a half. Screw, that's good. These are 4-inch screws. What do you think of that? I'm gonna have to pre-drill them. Didn't think of that. Make sure I'm still 6 here. You're gonna have to pre-drill them. These screws aren't gonna go through the metal. Just make sure I'm still 6. Overhang. Okay. Good. All right. I'll do that one more time. I'm gonna have to pre-drill these. Well, you know what? You guys get the gist. Instead of making me watch me drill and screw them, you get the gist. So this is what the ridge cap looks like now. I like the overhang on both sides. It's going to be really protective of the roof. Um, Kind of matches in with the beam running over. I like the color versus the top. And yeah, so I'll get up there and do that when you guys aren't watching so that it's not totally tedious. But all I'm going to do is basically go up there, drill a hole through the metal, screw it down just in both ends, and then that'll come off really heavy. So that's going to make water sheet down. You know, give you a look from the end of how far that's coming down. Keep water away from the ridge. So actually, it's going to go that way a little bit right now. Stupid sunlight. Stupid sun. So it covers really, really well. And it's going to work perfect for what I want. And it saves me from having to spend $100 on a stupid metal ridge cap that might not seal. This is going to be monster. It sheets way further. And it looks good. You know, it looks awesome with the contrast between the green and the top. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. And for now, I hope you guys are having a great day. I'm going to probably go in and watch some football after this. I'm not going to work on the door today, I don't think. And if you guys have any questions or suggestions or anything, hit me up. For now, I'll leave you out.